In today's video, we will tell you about a school trip in which 10 14-year-old students went to a cave with their teachers and got stuck badly, and something happened to them that they never imagined. Watch the video till the end to know the whole story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There is a park called Yorkshire Dales National Park in northern England which is spread over thousands of square miles. This park consists of beautiful valleys, verdant plains and many lakes, and it would not be wrong to call this park a paradise of caves. There are more or less 2,500 small and big caves in this park. Some of them are very short in length, but some of them are so big that it feels like there is a whole valley inside the cave. A few hundred kilometers from the park is Tadcaster Grammar School, a high school which often takes its students on tours to the sea, forests and caves to enhance their knowledge. In November 2005, the school management announced that they would take a small group from the school to the Yorkshire Dales National Park and show them a large cave in which they would learn about fossils and caving. A group of 10 students was formed and 3 teachers were sent along with them to supervise. All of the students were around 14 years old. The group, under the supervision of the teachers, arrived at the Yorkshire Dales National Park and drove through the green areas before stopping at a large cave known as Manchester Hole. It appeared to be a small cave, but on closer inspection, it was seen that where the cave seems to end, there is another small hole which is the entrance to the big cave. This was the hole through which all the students and teachers entered the cave. This cave was not a difficult cave, as there were no dangerous turns or narrow passages, so it was considered safe to take small children into the cave. As the group entered the cave, they noticed that there were around 5 to 6 inches of water on the ground, and this water was coming from a nearby dam. The roof of the cave was muddy, indicating that the cave was often filled with water when the water in the nearby river or dam was high. The water in the dam was high that day too, but there was no chance of rain that day, so there was no risk of flooding the cave. As the group moved a little further into the cave, it was completely dark, as there was no place for sunlight to enter, so that all the students wore helmets with lights attached. After walking for some time, all the students reached a large room-like place and everyone was very happy there. Students asked questions to the teachers and increased their knowledge. After leaving this room, the group proceeded to explore more parts of the cave and, through various passages, reached another large room where the teachers provided information about the fossils to all the students. From this large room, when they went further, an interesting passage was seen. It was a narrow passage which was called a crawl because the passage was so narrow that the ceiling was only 3 feet high at that point, and everyone had to crawl to get through. There was a point on this route where there was a U-shaped bump in both the ground and the roof, and it was a bit difficult to get through. The teachers led all the students through there, and after passing through this passage, they all reached another large room again. In this large room, the students were divided into different groups and started having academic discussions about the cave. All the group was in the cave and enjoying the adventure, but no one knew how big the commotion was going to be in the river a few miles away from the cave. Suddenly, a very strong wind started blowing, and due to the strong wind in the river and the dam, large waves were formed, due to which the water began to flow rapidly towards the caves. Everything was going on normally in the cave when suddenly the group felt some movement in the cave, and within a few minutes the 6-inch water, which was ankle high, suddenly reached chest level. All the students panicked and started running around to get out of the cave. The teachers took hold of the students and started walking them towards the exit. They were walking without any difficulty, but suddenly on their way back, they again reached a place called the crawl. As we told you earlier, the height of the ceiling was only 3 feet at this place, so it was not possible to walk, but one had to crawl to pass through here. Now, crawling was not easy because the cave was now full of water, and it was more necessary to swim than to crawl. A student named Joseph and a teacher in the group knew how to swim, so they stayed behind and helped the others to move forward. Due to drowning, the lights on everyone's helmets had gone out. The darkness, the difficult path, and the fast-rising water were no less than an apocalypse. Against all odds, the group escaped the cave with their lives saved due to the dedication of Joseph and a teacher and the willingness to help others. When a teacher came out of the cave and started counting, the total number of people was 12. He panicked and started counting again, but the number was still 12. They knew that their group consisted of 13 people, and now the number was 12, which meant that one of the students was still inside the cave. The teachers immediately called for help on the rescue helpline, and more than 40 rescue personnel rushed there to help immediately. It was known that a student named Joe was trapped in the cave. By the time the rescue personnel arrived, the strong wind had subsided and the water level in the cave had also reduced. Rescuers entered the cave and soon found Joe lying on the ground unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital, where it was found that he had hypothermia due to the cold water. Despite the best efforts of the doctors, his life could not be saved, and he died. The rescue official said that perhaps due to the lights being turned off in the dark and the water pressure, he lost his way and could not come out of the cave. After the incident, there was a huge public reaction and people blamed the school management for Joe's death because they did not check the water level before entering the cave. The court declared Joe's death accidental and held no one responsible for it because the way the water level rose that day was uncertain. This has never happened before and has never happened after this incident. But whatever happened, it was very sad, because Joe was a brilliant student who still had big dreams and he wanted to fulfill them when he grew up, but death did not give him the time. That's it for today's video. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comments, like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next video.